hello, and welcome to another exciting edition of Roar Time with head coach Jason Gibson, director of operations, the man, myth, legend. I am just the mere whisper in the wind, the voice in the jungle. Dr. Love out there in that place. Eric Fowler out here in these streets. Coach, we have been on the road again. And it's been a pretty exciting episode of sorts. We've lost some, we won some.
I mean, you talk about roller coaster.
Up and down.
I mean, we lose the ones we're supposed to win, and we're winning the ones we're supposed to lose.
Yeah, that's an interesting way to put that.
Yeah.
So, Coach, let's get right into it. And today's episode of Roar Time is sponsored by USAA, Firehouse Subs, and Rivertown GMC. Some good folks over there with all those organizations. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Rivertown GMC's got their trucks at the games. Them thing, man, he needs to stop doing it, I'm telling you. Won't screw around and try to buy one.
That's right.
But that's why they do it, though.
Yeah,
but they got a good
exactly
product. And, of course, Firehouse Subs in Columbus. I think it's in Auburn, too.
Yeah. They're kind of scattered all over the place.
And of course, USAA, man. That place is great. Those guys are great. So appreciate to our sponsors.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, Coach, let's dive right into it. Carolina, the Cobras. This was a homecoming of sorts for you.
It was fun. It was fun. So, you know, I that's where I started my arena career. It was my first arena game. Was in that building, and I still know all the people there. And plus, I coached high school there for, man, I don't know, 6, 7 years. So I made a lot of really, just like Columbus, you make a lot of really good connections and with different coaches across the area and people. And so it was fun. You know, my best friend from college lives out that way, so he was there. And one of my arena mentors, he was there. And there was a lot of people I didn't even know had shown up. And so it was fun to be back in that building. You know, I didn't want to put too much on it. It wasn't like I walked in like, oh my gosh, you know. But it was fun to be back in that building. I love, you know, Greensboro's a great place. They got great fans. They got the best arena. You know, they got a great arena. Yeah. Facility wise, you can't touch it.
Hands down.
Can't touch it. I mean, it is what it is. It was fun to kind of get in and remember and look back and see all that stuff. And my players knew that going in.
Yeah.
That, you know, it was a little special for me, but it wasn't like I was going to make a big deal about it, you know, in public.
Yeah. But it was a good homecoming, to say the least.
But I enjoyed it.
That's right, of course. It was going back home. And you know.
It was special. I'll remember that one.
That's right. That's good stuff. Well, Coach, let's get into some football in Carolina, if we will. Just a little recap of how things kind of started out. We jumped out pretty much very quickly in this series, 20-0.
Yeah, we had a game. We had changed some things up defensively. We had decided to simplify some things. I knew. I tell you what, the light bulb clicked off in my head. I was just sitting and reading the program, and I'm looking at, you know, the rosters, and I'm looking at my roster. And if you really sit down and look at our roster, it reads Auburn, Georgia, NC State, Clemson, Baylor, Ohio State, Arkansas. And I'm looking at it, I'm looking at other people's rosters, and it says, you know, Fairmont State, which is where I went. So I'm not knocking it. But, you know, Fairmont State, Millersville, Navarro Community College, you know, Southern Baptist of Southern Mississippi.
So what you're saying, Coach, is the level of talent on our team.
We've got players.
Yeah.
And the mistake that we had made, me, was we were doing a little too much and making too many people think. And I just thought, you know what, let's just keep this simple and let's just let these players play.
Yeah.
And that's what we did. And so the first 3 series of the game, McCullum threw 3 interceptions. We picked him off 3 times. Interception, interception, interception.
Back to back to back.
And we capitalized back to back to back.
That's right.
I think we went right down the first series and scored. And it was great, too, because one of the satisfying things as a coach is when you can game plan somebody and put in certain things. You come out, they do exactly what you game plan for, and you run exactly what you ran in practice, and it scores touchdowns.
Everything
and you're like,
falls into fruition.
Yeah, I remember being on the bench thinking, this is too easy.
Yeah.
And so But they performed well. You know, Chris Pickett said, "Coach, put this on me." He goes, "I want to be the man in the middle and make all the plays," and he did. And he made 2 interceptions. Kyle made 1. Chris got beat us on touchdowns too, but that's arena football.
Yeah, it's going to happen.
But he asked for that. He wanted that. Was it the word weight or wanted that burden?
Yeah.
He said, "Put the burden on me."
He wanted to be the GOAT. Hey,
well, got Player of the Week for it too.
There you go.
So, but we jumped out 20-0, and I remember being on the bench with the players, and of course everybody was excited, but we weren't excited because we were beating Carolina 20-0. It had nothing to do with Carolina. We were excited because we were just finally performing the way we needed to perform.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with anybody else. It had nothing to do with playing in Greensboro. It had nothing to do with playing against Carolina. I didn't care if it was against Carolina, against Maine, or Lehigh, or Jacksonville. You know, we weren't the underdogs.
Yeah.
I'm not saying we were the favorites. That's kind of weird to say this, but it wasn't like, oh wow, holy cow, it's 2 good football teams.
That's right.
You know, and
but
so
you're playing Lion style football.
Yeah. And so we jumped out 3 interceptions and 3 picks, up 20-0. But I know it's a long game. It's arena football. It's like the NBA. Somebody's going to go on a run.
Yeah.
At some point.
Exactly.
And they did.
They got hot.
And so they made some adjustments, which was good. We stumbled a little, but I think we jumped up 20-0. Well, 20-0 quick, but then we only scored 1 touchdown the rest of the half. And they scored 3 quick ones. They started going no huddle. They started, moving the ball pretty quick. A couple 1 or 2 play drives.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you go into halftime at 27-21. I think something that hurt us a little bit going into halftime is we got a chance to actually get the ball back with about 10 seconds left. And, I threw a quick 5-yard pass to move the ball up to midfield. And in my head, I'm thinking, man, we kicked this field goal. It's 30-21. We're up by 2 possessions, and we get the ball back.
Exactly.
I thought that was huge. But we didn't got blocked. The field goal got blocked. So we go into halftime 27-21, and we knew it was going to be a ball game, but they were just playing well.
Yeah, yeah. And all of this, of course, we got to give shout-outs where shout-outs are due. The Q. Quavon Hicks. I mean, this guy's rushing for 13 carries, 66 yards, 3 TDs. I mean, thank God he's healthy.
He's the best fullback in the league.
Oh, yes, hands down.
Everybody knows it because every coach is telling me that.
There you go. We keep the compliments pouring.
Yeah.
There you go.
We felt we could run against them.
Okay.
And that running game does a couple things. It keeps the linebackers from getting into the pass coverage. You can't just run out in the pass coverage. You got to cover that running back. You better.
Yeah.
And it slows the pass rush down. When typically arena football, those guys, the defensive line, they just want to put their hand in the ground and go get quarterback.
That's it. Just got to remember that guy in the backfield.
You got to remember that guy in the backfield. And we dived it, we tossed it, we swept it. I mean, we threw it out of the backfield. We did. I mean, he had 2 catches for 19 yards. I mean, he almost had 66, 19, 76, 85 yards of offense from a fullback. That's a lot.
That is a lot.
That's a lot. And wow, he played a great game. He was unstoppable. And 66 yards rushing in arena football is like 100 yards outdoor.
Yeah.
And we were trying to get him to the 100-yard mark. I was trying to break a record, but
I see it happening.
Yeah, I mean he's just a weapon.
He's a beast.
He's a man-child. And that was probably the difference in the game. I mean, we were doing well on offense, but Carolina's got some of the best DBs. Carolina's got one of the best DBs in the league in Mike Green. I like him a lot. Really good football player. Unfortunately, he got hurt, but he's really good.
Yeah,
really good. I like him, and we needed to offset some things with the running game in order not to have to try to challenge him every play.
Gotcha.
And so Quavon was just unstoppable.
Well, all of this with no sign of Deron Neal to be found. How's he doing?
Well, when you take out I think he's the number 1 yardage receiver in the league. I mean, he from the NAL stats, I'm pretty sure he leads the league in total yards per game. He's the number 1 player.
Yeah.
And you take that out of your offense.
That's right.
That's huge. But he had to go. He had some issues he had to handle for 1 game, but he's back. But I think Fortson had about 100 yards of offense. His replacement, Darrell Bogan, had about 100 yards of offense. Purefoy had 100 yards of offense. And then Quavon kicks in another 80-something yards. It's almost 4. I mean, just everybody contributed. It wasn't a lot, And, of course, Deron's a weapon that everybody has to cover. But man, when everybody pitches in like that, it's kind of easy to keep that
flow.
Yeah,
That's impressive. Now, Coach, there was a field goal that was huge for us in this game. Kind of talk about that.
Well, we came out second half, we scored to maintain our distance in the lead, and then they scored, and so it kept kind of going back and forth. But about somewhere in the third quarter, they stopped us, and I'm just thinking, I'm looking at the score. I think we were up by, I don't know, 7 or something, and I was like, man, we just need these points, and we lined up for the field goal, and Derek Vaca, man.
Vaca, what a name!
What a great kick, and he kicked the field goal, and it doesn't seem like much.
But at the end.
When we talk about it, it makes a difference, and that's what matters. And that was a huge field goal at the point of the game, even though it didn't seem like much. It's a win for the defense, but for us, it was a huge points.
Every little bit helps. Let's talk about that final drive, Coach, that really catapulted us over to that victory.
Well, I mean, it was weird because, so we're up by, we missed an extra point.
Okay.
We were up by 9 points the whole time.
Okay.
Or I think it was 9 points the whole time. But we missed the extra point. Now we're up by 8, and I'm thinking, great. They got a great kicker. All I'm thinking is they're gonna kick the extra point, be down by 1, and kick the deuce and win the game.
Yeah.
And I've seen that happen, and I'm kind of sweating dots. So they did. It's exactly what happened. We missed the extra point. We're up by 8. They go down and score with 45 seconds left or something like that. So now they're down by 2 points. So they got a decision to make. So they go for 2 to tie the game, and the guy drops it. He drops it. So now they're still down by 2, and I'm thinking he still has a chance to kick the deuce to win the game or to tie it in overtime. He kicked it out of bounds, or at least I thought, but he didn't. He cornered that ball, and I don't know. If he did this on purpose, he is a even better kicker than I thought. But he cornered that ball right down in the corner and made us return it, and they tackled us like on the 5-yard line with like 30 seconds or 40 seconds left. So now we're pinned on our own 5. They have 3 timeouts. So we have to get a first down. We can't just take a knee and run the clock out.
That's right, yeah.
And if I don't get a first down, it's 4th and forever, and we got to kick the ball from our own end zone, which means, one, it's going to get blocked.
That's right.
Could get a safety. I mean, it was just too many options in our way, and when I remember getting the huddle, and I thought, we got to get a first down.
Yeah, just got to happen.
If we get a first down, it's over. But we can't afford to just go 3 and out. So they did something crazy. I went for the first down. They blitzed their DB off the edge, which is illegal defense. It's an automatic first.
Okay.
They blitzed their DB off the edge, and we just happened to be throwing the ball, and Darryl Bogan was wide open and caught it and ran down to the 10-yard line and got tackled, and we took a knee and walk-off winner, chicken dinner.
Hey, whatever it takes to get the W, we did it.
But we got a chance to finally close out a game. We've been in that situation twice against Mass.
Correct.
And we didn't close it out.
That's right.
And we closed it out. So everything's a learning experience.
Yeah. Well, Coach, congratulations on the stellar win. Stellar homecoming for you, obviously. Glad to know that you had some fan support there in the building. And again, hats off to our Lions for yet another victory on the road with the Carolina Cobras. Let's do a little recap, Coach, of what's going on in the National Arena League. Jacksonville over Maine.
Yeah, how come every I turn around, Jacksonville's playing Maine?
I mean, what's that all about?
Jeez. I swear. You know who they got this week?
Who they got this week?
Lehigh.
Isn't that interesting?
Nah, good for them.
Yeah, congrats.
No, it was good. I think it was 51-21 or something. It was a big win for them. They're continuing to roll. I think they're 8-4.
Okay.
So they're rolling pretty good, trying to get in the mix. They're in the 4th seed. Just make sure they know that.
Interesting.
I love throwing jabs.
That's a good one there. Good body shot.
And you're a missed field goal away from being the 4th seed.
Dropping down. Interesting.
So, nah, I just love screwing with them. So yeah, that puts him, I think, 8-4. And if I'm wrong on the stats, it's not a big deal. Don't kill me, But I know they got more losses than I have.
That's all
I know.
That's all that matters. There you go. There you go. Well, then, Coach, you've got Mass playing Lehigh Valley.
Yeah, I didn't watch a lot of it. in the beginning, but Lehigh was kind of in that game.
Okay.
They're getting better.
Yeah, they are.
You know, God, they're getting better. I just need them to win one. Just steal one from somebody.
There you go.
You know, it's a funny story. You know, I'm pulling for Lehigh Valley because I don't play Lehigh Valley anymore.
That's right.
So I'm trying to help them, send them good players. I want them to win some games.
That's right. That's right, yeah.
And I talked to the Mass coach. He's doing the same thing for Maine. He doesn't play Maine anymore, and Maine plays us in Jacksonville,
That's
Carolina.
right.
So he's trying to send players to Maine. So we're both trying to help the other team.
That's right, yeah.
But yeah, that was a good game. You know, we sent our quarterback we had here in training camp, Matt Foltz, and Matt did real good up for us training camp. We traded him to Lehigh.
Okay.
To get him some experience, and he was doing well, but they were in the game, but he winds up breaking his leg.
Oh gosh.
So now Lehigh's back to no quarterback, and it's it just gets from worse to worse.
Gosh. For
them. So, but you know, right now, so you got Massachusetts in first place at 8-3, and Carolina at 7-3. We're at 6-3.
Yeah.
Jacksonville, I think, is 8-4 or 7-4, one or the other, and then Lehigh and Maine are where they're at.
That's right. That's right. Well, we got to appreciate the position that we're in right now. Let's talk a little bit about our Houston Clinic injury report, better known, AKA, as the sick and shut-in list. Who's on that list right now, Coach?
It's getting longer, which is terrible. I mean, everybody's like, hey, when's your next bye week? Nah, we had them, you know.
Yeah, had that early on in the
early
season.
a lot.
Yeah.
So, you know, Greg Hall's still out. Couple guys banged up. You know, Fortson's always banged up because he always plays so physical.
That's right.
Always plays physical. But right now, the actual Houston Clinic list is empty.
But
that's
awesome.
not saying there's not guys that are seeing them.
Okay.
So there's a difference between the injury report and a hurt report.
Okay. Huge difference.
Right.
Huge difference.
Yeah. You know, in high school, you all had them high school coaches. Are you injured? Or are you hurt?
That's right.
So I got a lot of guys that are hurt.
Okay.
Still trying to scale back. We got great, got great trainers and great doctors. Dr. Geringer's really good.
Oh yeah.
And trying to maintain a fine balance of being able to practice and stay sharp, but also staying healthy and being fresh.
That's right.
And I think we're doing a good job of it. I adjusted the practice schedule to take care of our big guys, and it's working pretty good. So right now that office is sitting empty over there in Houston, but unfortunately it won't be for long.
We're going to keep our fingers crossed and hopes that our guys continue to stay in a posture of being able to stay competitive.
I mean, we did have, Robert Caldwell did miss the game last week, and he's one of our top players on defense, but he'll be back this week, so he was cleared to play. Okay. So that's a huge lift to us defensively. He's one of the leaders of the defense, and so it gets us kind of back healthy.
Yeah, that's what we want. Well, Lion Nation, hold to your seats. We'll be right back with more information here from Director of Operations and Head Coach of your Columbus Lions, Jason Gibson. We'll be right back with more Roar Time after these commercial messages.
Hi, I'm Charles.
And I'm Tony with Midas here in Columbus, Georgia.
Did you know that 84,000 people in the Chattahoochee Valley go hungry every day? So we partner with Feeding the Valley Food Bank here in Columbus, Georgia. Every oil change feeds up to 5 people, or you can drop off food donations at either one of our locations. Together we can drive out hunger.
Come visit us at either one of our Columbus locations. We're located at 315 13th Street or 1631 Manchester Expressway.
Every day, men and women from communities across this nation serve as Reserve Citizen Airmen.
I am proud to defend our nation.
Proud to be part of a team that helps make a difference.
I am proud to be part of something larger than me and to serve my country.
We celebrate those who have served and those who are proudly serving in the Air Force Reserve. Our mission is to fly, fight, and win in air, space, and cyberspace.
I am proud to be a member. I am proud to protect our...
Proud to serve in the U.S. Air Force Reserve.
Welcome back to Roar Time as we pick up the pieces and pull ourselves back together, folks. I'm Dr. Love in the jungle. We've got this guy right here to my immediate right, Director of Operations and Head Coach, Jason Gibson of your Columbus Lions. Well, Coach, we were just kind of coming out of that first segment talking about the recap of Carolina. And this is a special time for us to always give props to our sponsors.
Yeah, somebody told me this week, hey, why do you read the sponsors? Because I want to.
Simply put.
Because I want to get it right.
That's right.
You know?
Zero tolerance. No errors here on Roar Time.
Yeah, plus they deserve it. So here we go. My favorite part. I love this.
Yeah,
part.
I know you do.
Jordan's Girls Gourmet Dogs. Go see Miss Natalie. They're the home of the Lions Big Dog down there on Veterans near the Civic Center. Sprague Supply, sponsor of the Lions Catch of the Game at each game on CTV Beam each week. There's 3 locations, Alexander Street, 280 Bypass in Phoenix City, and Auburn Opelika at Sprague's Napa Supply. Motor Acceptance Corporation. Are you trapped in a title pond? Lower your interest rate, lower your payments, and get up to $1,000 off in cash at Motor Acceptance Corp in Columbus, Georgia. Just call 1-800-NEW-RATE. You can see their dashers on the field. They got a good dasher, too.
They do have a nice dasher.
Air Force Reserve Recruiting. They're sponsors of the Pass to Pigskin, and they're also the Defensive Player of the Game in 2018. And also they are big supporters of our Fort Benning soldiers and our Military Appreciation Night. Texas Roadhouse, home of the fall off the bone ribs.
Delicious.
Located at 2970 North Lake Parkway. Ice cold beer and legendary margaritas. The Ovary Company and Shredaway. Shredaway documents, shredding and storage. Protect your business the best way. And Midas of Columbus. Every touchdown is a Midas of Columbus touchdown. They're also the sponsors of Player of the Game. The winner gets a customized plaque and a free oil change. Midas of Columbus, those guys are awesome. And finally, Players Restaurant and Billiards and Locals Bar and Grill. Each home game, fans can go to the concourse, cast their program ballots at the Lions Fan Center to win either a lunch at Players on 54th Street or dinner at Locals on Somerville Road, North Phoenix City, with their favorite Lion. Also, don't forget about Metro PCS.
Yes, gotta love them.
Yeah, that's a great halftime promotion. Metro PCS halftime promotion. Go register at any Metro PCS area, the official wireless provider of the Columbus Lions, and you can do the quarterback for a minute challenge. That's
pretty impressive.
That's a really big deal.
Yeah.
So, and of course, we talked about Rivertown GMC. Their cars are at the game. Their trucks, excuse me.
Exactly.
Trucks are at the game. Firehouse Subs, USAA, all those people are great.
We have a stellar crop of sponsorship, Coach, and we again would like to just say thank you, sponsors, for all that you do. Coach, that was a great read, man. Good job.
Appreciate it.
Good stuff.
Oh, shout out to Beth Bone Rehab.
Indeed.
She does a great job for our players. They're on the back of all our player shirts.
Yes. Hangout.
Oh, yeah, Nikki at the Hangout.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And shout out to John Gilbert at Golden Corral. Golden Corral had a little fire.
Yeah.
On the roof.
Oh, okay.
So, but you know, best wishes to John and those guys. We look forward to getting Golden Corral back open. That's one of the favorite eating spots. But again, the Hangout, Golden Corral, all those places are
those
great
Caesars,
spots.
all these guys.
Fiona at Country Inn and Suites.
Yeah.
She's been putting the players up.
Okay.
Cindy Webb and Amanda Riles out there at Hilton Garden.
Okay.
They house all the visiting. They host all the visiting teams at the Hilton Garden Inn at Bradley Park. And then, of course, our apartment complexes, Whisper Woods and Green Hill Apartments, man. Those places are great. Green Hills is over there by the college. I think it's on Gentian or
Gentian, yeah, somewhere in that area, absolutely.
Yeah, over there by the university. Green Hills is great, and Whisper Woods, houses some of our players too. So just all great places and great ownership, great management. And so make sure if you're looking for a place to stay, you go there. All right.
It's a very good plug, Coach.
Back to football.
Very good. Now we've got to get back into a little more football. Coach, we've been doing a little recruiting of our own here.
Yes, we have.
Let's talk about that. We got some new players. Kicker, Tyler, is it pronounced Rasa?
It is now.
Boise State is where he comes from, Coach.
He's a pretty good kicker.
Pretty good kicker.
So, we got Tyler in this week. He flew in. He kicked for Boise State, for the last 3 years.
Okay.
And he was a Lou Groza candidate, which is a big deal, which means top kicker in the country in NCAA.
Okay. Kid's got a good leg on him.
Oh, you're going to see.
I'm ready.
So he came to practice. He kicked a couple practices. I let Derek compete it out. Derek did well for us. Derek leads in AL in extra points. I think an extra point percentage, and that's a big deal.
That is a huge deal.
And Derek's done a great job. But with that being said, I think I did some math, and I think we've kicked off 81 times this year.
Okay.
We've made 2 deuces.
Only 2.
And it's just unfortunate. If you can make 2 deuces a game, let's say you kick off, on average we kick off 8 to 10 times a game on average. If we could just make 2, that's 4 points. That's another possession that the other team has to score, and we didn't even touch the ball.
Exactly.
And I just got to take advantage of that, and we've got to get more points out of the kicking game. And we're going to let Tyler see if he can get it done.
Okay.
He did well in practice. He's got a big leg. You'll see Saturday night. And we're excited to get him in. Hopefully that's a piece that helps us.
Yeah, elevate us.
Elevate us to the next level, so we're not letting teams hanging around 55, 53,
That's
57,
right.
55.
Yeah, we got to
we
have
can
some
put
point
people,
spread there.
we got to be able to put people away.
Yeah.
Cover the point spread for Vegas.
There you go. Got to have it. Vegas is always keeping their eyes out on us. Now, Coach, we've got a familiar name of a gentleman that's got to start with us. Kind of bounced around at some other places within the league, and he's coming back home. London Crawford.
Yeah, it's big.
That is huge.
That's huge. Now, people are like, why'd you bring in a receiver? Why'd you bring in London? Well, London's high maintenance. Okay. He knows that. It's okay. It is what it is. But, I kind of look at this. I remember there's the best compliment I can give a player at any time, whether they're a headache or not, or, you consider him high maintenance. He practices hard.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever seen a handful of guys that practice as hard as he does, whether he's the starter, not a starter, leading. I remember when he was here, he took every rep at practice. He took every special teams rep, every scout rep. And when you find players like that, you got to want to keep them around. So Massachusetts let him go. I don't, it wasn't the right fit, whatever. You can talk to him about that.
Okay.
But I called him and I thought, how do I upgrade my roster with veteran players, not necessarily receivers? I got 3 best receivers in the league.
Oh, hands down.
There's no way anybody, and I hear from every team, nobody wants to cover Purefoy.
Oh, not at all.
And then you sit there and you say, okay, every team I've talked to says, holy cow, who's 5?
Yeah.
Because Deron Neal's as good as there is.
Absolutely.
And then you got the GOAT.
Fortson. What can you do with that lineup?
Exactly. And so you look at it and you say, okay, you're bringing in London Crawford. How's that going to fit? You got too many roosters in the hen house. No. We talked. London, we needed the 4th receiver. Mm-hmm. I've got some good young receivers right now that are good. Bogan had a great game. Yeah. Darrell Bogan had a great game. But they're still not to where they, for my standards of where they need to be. They're getting there.
Yeah.
And I like them, and they're going to be those guys.
Exactly.
The guys we have now, the Fortsons and the Neals and the Purefoys, they didn't get that way overnight.
Oh no, they had to pay their debts.
They paid their dues.
Yeah.
But anyway, London's just a dog. He's a veteran on the bench. He knows how to win. He knows how to compete. And I've always said this: when you play somebody, if you got a game plan for a certain player, God, I need to sign him.
Yeah.
And when you play London, you have to figure out a way to shut him down. You can't let him just run around free. He'll hurt you.
Oh, yeah.
And so we talked. I said, this is what I need. I need to upgrade my roster. I'm not saying he's going to come in and start. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. They'll all work that stuff out.
That's right.
But, again, with him being a pro, he said no. He said, of course I want to start. Of course I want to play. Who doesn't? But I'm going to do whatever it is to help this team win. And I'll come off the bench and let's take this to another level. I just want to play, and I want to play in Columbus.
And see, that's leadership, Coach. You can't. That's leadership. You need that level of passion.
Oh, he's got passion
in your clubhouse. You got to have it.
And I said he's a dog.
Yeah.
And he'll earn it. So, one of the things is this, and I've always said this to people. I get players call me all the time, or I get players say, "Oh, I got cut because coach whoever has his players, and he's going to play his guys." I ain't playing my guys. I'm playing the guys that help me win.
That's right. No favorites out here.
And that's just the way it is. And you know why I play Fortson and Neal and Purefoy? Because they help me win.
They're winners.
The guys are phenomenal.
Yeah.
London will come in. He's a winner. He gets on the field, and that's just the way it is. And my job as a coach, I told him last night in practice, is to continually upgrade this roster with the best possible players I can find.
That's right.
And if I bring in a guy that's at your position, then you're on notice.
There you go. There you go.
You better perform.
That's right.
And the receivers that I have, Neal and Fortson and Purefoy, they love that stuff.
Yeah.
They love competing, and that's what's good about those 3 guys too as well. And even Darryl and Scott Schumann, that were out there on our squad, is they know how to practice hard all the time.
Yeah.
Fortson's the same way, man. Fortson, Even though he's got all the stats and he's been here for a while, he loves playing football. That's what I love about. That's how you win football games.
That's right.
Guys that love to play the game. You got to love to come to practice.
You got to be passionate about your art, your craft.
I can't wait to go to practice. I can't wait. I told people I said, laugh. I learned this from a coach in the CFL. I wake up in the morning. I karaoke to the bathroom.
Ready.
I just want to practice.
Ready to get it started.
And when you find guys like that, it makes a difference. So London's a huge addition.
That's huge. That's huge. Well, Coach, congratulations on these new additions to Lion Nation. And we know that they will come in and be impact players.
Right.
That's what we're looking for. So let's talk a little bit about this preview against Mass. Mass has jumped out in first place.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, what can we say?
I made a three-pointer once, too.
Yeah. Yes, you have. Many of them, actually.
I don't know, man. They're doing a good job. It seems like every time I turn around, they're playing at home.
Yeah.
But hopefully, you know, coming to Columbus is a different animal.
It's a different place.
You're the man there. You know.
Yeah.
Don't know how to describe it, but it's a different animal. And I like our chances at home, and it's a different mentality. The players are kind of like, you know, if you ain't played in Columbus, you just don't get it.
That's it. It's a totally different environment from what you're accustomed to.
You know, Jacksonville's the same environment.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm looking forward to. So they play good defense. They got a good quarterback. I would say, honestly, I would say Mason and the kid from Mass are the two best quarterbacks in the league. I don't want to hear any stuff about the kid from Carolina. I mean, he's a good player, but when you throw 16, 17 picks and you complete 50% of your passes,
hey,
you know,
stats don't lie.
I mean, that doesn't frighten me.
That's right.
The kid from Mass can make plays.
Yeah.
He can throw the football. He can make good decisions. He can single-handedly win a game.
Wow.
And he's a good football player. So I like him a lot. They got some players there, and it's going to be a task. You know, anytime you play a good quarterback like that, you better show up.
Yeah, you got to. Defense has got to be in place, and
yeah.
Lion Nation, you've got to be in place. We've got to make certain that this being the last game of the month of June, man, these months are passing us by, Coach.
Yeah, means we're getting older.
I mean, getting older. Yeah. But hey, Lion Nation, it's going down this Saturday, June 30th. We are playing host to Massachusetts, the Pirates.
First place on the line.
First place in the league. And we've got to be the ninth man and woman have got to show up in the jungle. There's just no question about it. So, Coach, as we look at this record in June, we are 2-2. You know, you stated earlier in some previous episodes that the month of June was going to be a big scenario for us.
I thought it would dictate the whole season. I looked at the schedule. We had Jacksonville, Mass, Carolina, you know, back to back. And then, so it was a 5-game stretch in the month of June with no bye weeks. And I thought minimum we had to come out 3-2. 4-1 would have been great. 5-0 would have been miraculous.
Oh, beautiful, yeah.
But I knew we couldn't come out 2-3, and so now we're right where we said I needed to be, and,
right.
and now we're sitting here at 2-2 for the month of June, and this game closes out the month.
Yeah.
And to come out of this month 3-2 sets the tone for July, and then sets us where we need to be.
Exactly.
We talked at Carolina in the locker room how important that game was. If we had lost that game at Carolina, there's no way we could be the number 1 seed.
Yeah.
There was just no way, because then we would have to get help from other people. And I didn't want our season to be dictated upon me sitting back watching other games hoping somebody else wins or loses.
That's right.
And we took care of business. Well, now we're right back in the same situation with Massachusetts, where they're 8-3, we're 6-3.
Yeah.
Even though they kind of have the tiebreaker, you know, we went out, we got the number 1 seed, and there's nothing anybody can do about it. We control that.
Yeah.
Nobody else controls that. And this game closes out the month. If we finish 3-2, you know, it gives them another setback. They still got to play Carolina and Jacksonville again.
No easy wins there.
No.
No easy wins there at all.
So that's what I'm looking for, and it's a huge game.
Well, Lion Nation, you heard it right here from your guy, my guy, everybody's guy, Jason Gibson. This has got to be an impact, stadium-filled, jungle fever of activity. I'm getting all tongue-tied with this thing. I'm so excited. We got to get here, folks. That's what I'm saying. Be in the jungle, June 30th, kick off. What time, Coach?
7 p.m.
7 p.m. The Lions walk, 5:45. Make certain you show up and show out, Lion Nation. Well, Coach, let's talk a little about some things that we're doing for our youth. NFL Flag Saturday.
Starts Saturday.
Start Saturday. Okay.
NFL flag football. Teams are registered. Teams been practicing. It's just going to be fun. Kids get to get inside, on the turf, out of this heat.
Oh, man, this heat, my God.
I love hot weather. But out of the heat, out of the rain, out of the thunderstorms. Nobody else can provide it. Only we can provide it. That's a little shout out.
That's a big shout out. I like that.
Shout out underneath. You don't know what I'm talking about.
I don't, but it sounded pretty impressive.
When I was watching, they know what I'm talking about. But it's inside the arena on the turf, and it's going to be so much fun. My kids are playing. They play every Saturday into the end of the season.
Okay.
Just kind of get a chance to get on the turf, work on their passing skills. Big shout out to NFL Flag. Shout out to Smile Doctors and Domino's Pizza. That wouldn't be possible without both of those.
That's awesome.
Smile Doctors of Columbus and Domino's Pizza sponsors this. Domino's has always done stuff for our youth kids every year.
That's huge.
Every year Domino's does that. And I want to thank Tabitha and everybody in Atlanta that still, they're in Atlanta, but they still reach out to the communities in Columbus and Ladonia and Phoenix City and all those areas to make sure our youth get done. And Smile Doctors the same way. So, but anyway, that thing kicks off Saturday. If you want to see it, it's there. And we'll see exhibitions at halftime.
That's beautiful. Well, hey, this is just another indication as to the stellar level of excellence. And the common denominator is the level of sponsorships that we have.
Always.
I mean, that's huge. That is huge. But, Coach, before we close out, we've got a question from a Lion Nation fan. And that question kind of goes like this. Jury Roberts of Columbus states or asks, Coach, what are our chances of getting a home playoff game? That's a very interesting question.
Well, it's everything's all jumbled up because you got 3 teams with 3 losses. Us, Mass, and Carolina, and then Jacksonville's sitting there in 4th place with 4 losses.
We love saying that.
So it's all jumbled up, and we all play each other in the next month.
Yeah.
But, if we take care of business this week and give Mass a 4th loss, Mass and Jacksonville play each other. That means one of those teams has another loss.
That's right.
There's no way around it. So one of those teams is going to have 5 losses, and that gives us a 2-game lead. So I'd say our chances right now are better of having it than not having it.
Yeah.
So we'll find out. We'll know more next week when we're sitting in this chair.
Absolutely. But we, as to your comment, we're sitting in a good position.
Right.
But we control our own destiny when it really gets down to it.
Correct.
And I know that you're going to literally pound that into the head of our players of where we are, of where we're sitting, and the potential of where we can be before we go into July. So that's a good scenario. Lion Nation, hold to your seats. We'll be right back after these commercial messages. We will get right into our players of the game, our coveted announcement of those superlatives, right after these commercial messages.
USAA gives me the peace of mind and the security just like the Marines did. At one point I did change to a different company with car insurance and I was not happy with the customer service. We have switched back over and we feel like we're back home now. We're the Williams family and we're USAA members for life.
Welcome back to Roar Time right here at CTV Beam with head coach and director of operations, Coach Jason Gibson. Coach, this is that coveted part of the show where we get the opportunity to give shout-outs and kudos to our players of the game. Right. So starting with the Air Force defensive player of the game, Coach, who's that guy?
Chris Pickett, 8 pass breakups, 2 picks, 8 tackles, 4 pass breakup, and 2 picks. He also got honored with the National Arena League's Player of the Week. So
that's awesome.
Congrats to Chris.
Congrats. Then we've got the collisions surgeons hit of the game. Who is that guy, Coach?
Collision surgeon, Cindy Dunning. Steve Miller, Ohio State. He made a big-time sack late in the game. Steve's a game changer of a player, and thank God we have him.
Yeah, absolutely. Supercharged offensive player of the game, Coach. Who was that guy?
J-Man, Jarmon Fordson, Carver High. Starting to be a reoccurring theme for him.
Absolutely.
8 or 9 catches, 89 yards, 3 touchdowns. He had 6 touchdowns. He dropped 2 and one got called back.
Oh, got called back. Interesting. Midas player of the game.
Quavon Hicks.
The Q.
13 carries, 66 yards, 3 touchdowns. Georgia Bulldog, Quavon, just continues to churn it out, continues to be a major player. And when teams play Columbus, they say, where's 10?
There you go. And then last but certainly not least, the Sprague's Napa Auto Parts catch of the game.
Big shout out, Daryl Bogan. First game in the arena, rookie game. Did a good job. He made a couple good catches, but that catch almost helped us win the game, so it was good. So congratulations, Daryl, and good job, brother.
Awesome. Shout outs again to all of our players of the game and all those superlatives and sponsorships. We continue to appreciate you sponsoring these particular scenarios for the players of the game. Lion Nation is going down June 30th. Be there or be square. The only game in town right here, Columbus, Georgia, all surrounding areas. You need to be there in massive numbers. We're looking for you. We're looking forward to an exciting day, exciting time. CTV Beam, those guys over there, we appreciate everything that you do. Coach, any final words?
Go Lions.
Go Lions! Right here on Roar Time, CTV Beam. You all take care until we see you again.